In today's episode of Value in My Toy Collection, we're going to value all kinds of vintage dolls like Lil Me's, Liddle Kiddles, and Herself the Elf dolls. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm a full-time beauty pageant director as my career, but in my spare time, I'm a huge toy collector. I've been collecting toys now for over 40 years. You can officially call me a toyaholic. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My channel consists mainly of two things: beauty pageants, which I love, and toys, which I love even more. My dream in life has always been to own a toy museum. So it's finally happened. I've bought a building, and now I've got to move this massive collection and value it into the building. We're calling it the Toy Vault because it's an old bank building located in Crystal Springs, Mississippi that actually has two large vaults. So now I'm just going to make a ton of videos and value my toy collection, and then I'm going to make some where I take you shopping with me to thrift stores and flea markets and toy stores to let you see where I find all these goodies. So let's start this episode of Value in My Toy Collection and value some toys. Well, let's jump right in and start valuing some of these toys. We're going to start today with our Herself the Elf collection. We'll start out with this little ceramic figure of the boy elf, and he's worth about $15. And then we've got these loose Herself the Elf dolls, and they're in excellent condition with all their pieces. The Herself the Elf is worth about $20. Actually, each of these characters are worth about $20 each loose. And I kind of thought they'd be worth a little bit more, but that's not bad. We have 5 of them, that's $100. This little free calendar they gave away from 1986 is now worth about $10. I looked in it to see if there was any other items you could buy from Herself the Elf, but it was strictly just a free calendar. Now these are not Herself the Elf, but these are vintage little ceramic trinket boxes, and they're worth about $10 each. And then we have this little pill box that looks like a little German village. It's probably worth about $3. Now this next doll is actually from the Seaweeds collection. It's from 1986. It's a shimmer centaur worth about $18. This little Herself the Elf boy elf is a candle. It's worth $15, and the little figurine of her by the mushrooms worth $15. The Herself the Elf in the box is in great shape. It's worth about $40. And then we have her friend Meadowmorn. She's worth about $50. These are getting pretty hard to find. And then we have Wood Pink. She's worth about $50. And the blue hair one is called Willow Song. She's worth about $45. And then the one with the white hair is called Snowdrop. She's worth about $50. And then we have their little play set. It's the Flower House. And this is the most valuable piece we have. It's worth $150. This little handmade elf doll is worth about $8. And the Herself the Elf rag doll is worth about $15. And this little plate, it's worth about $15 as well. Then we have the lunchbox with the thermos with the original paper still in it. It's in excellent condition. It's worth at least $35. And then we have a couple extra Herself the Elves. They're not in that great of condition, so they're worth about $10 each. Then we'll move on to our Liddle Kiddles collection. We have several of these, and these are from the 60s. We have these that are in the perfume bottles. They're actually called Kiddle Colognes, and they're worth about $30 each. And next up from 1965 is the Liddle Kiddle Clubhouse, and it's worth about $35. And believe it or not, I got this at a yard sale about 15 years ago for 25 cents. That was a pretty good find. Wish you could always find collectible toys like that for 25 cents. And then we have this little stewardess. She's in her original bag. She's from the 60s, and she's worth about $50. Then we have this Liddle Kiddles folding playhouse. It's worth about $38. I'll try to do this one-handed, but it just folds out into a little play set that you can put the dolls in. And then we have the Liddle Kiddles beach buggy. It looks like a little purse with a handle, worth about $35. And then these are original Liddle Kiddles. They're worth probably about $12 each. So we have 6 of those. That's about $72 more we can add to our total. but some of them are worth more than $12. But I just did an estimate of about $12 each to kind of keep it simple. This little pink-haired doll is called a Flower Darling. She's worth about $25. Then these are a little larger Liddle Kiddles. They're worth about $12 each. Have a couple, I think we have 3 of the regular ones, and then this little guy, his name's Biff. He's worth about $20. Here's another regular one. And then this little redhead girl is called a Dolly Darling. She's worth about $25. Then I had 2 of these little babies. I'm not sure what line they're from, but they're worth about $5. And then I have 6 of these knockoff ones that are worth about $1 each. Now we have a shelf of Brooke Shields dolls. This doll's still in the box. It's worth about $30. And then we have a couple of the loose dolls, and they're not that valuable actually. They're only worth about $10 each. You would think from 1982 they would be worth a little bit more than that, but they're not. And then we have some of the outfits still on the cards. These are worth about $15 each. Some of them went up to about $20, but you see when they first came out, they were about $5. So kind of tripled in value. They just really didn't become that valuable, but they're pretty cool to have, and they're very 80s, and that's a great picture of Brooke Shields when she was younger. A lot of the times I will collect toys that have celebrity pictures on them because, of course, they're going to increase in value with that picture. Pretty cool to see the fashions from the 80s for a doll. This one we have 2 of, so we'll sell that one at our flea market booth. So we have a total of 5 different ones, and they're $15 each, so that's $75 more to add to our total. Then we have this cool suntan Brooke Shields still in the box, and she's worth about $50. She's pretty valuable. And it shows all the different fashions on the back of her box. And then we have this Brooke Shields styling head. I couldn't even find it anywhere on eBay, but I figure it's probably worth about $45. And then this one's pretty cool. It's a Brooke Shields doll carry case, probably worth about $25. Now we'll move on to these dolls called Lil Me, Lilme. Now this one in the box is worth about $35. She comes with an extra outfit as well. Now these dolls are really cute. They come with these little plastic dresses and tops and hats you could put on each of them. They're hard plastic, and all their little hats have hair, so you know which doll they go with. But we have 9 of these loose dolls, and on eBay they go anywhere from about $12 to $25 each when they're loose like this. So we're gonna say $12. So we have 9, so that's $108 more we can add to our overall grand total at the end of the video. Now next up we have a couple of their fashions that came in the box. This is the same outfit in 2 different boxes, but you can see when they went on clearance, for like 99 cents. They were only like $1 or something to start with. I wish toys were still those prices, but these are worth about $12 each now. And then on the back of the box, it shows all the different little outfits and characters they have. It was a nice little collection. We don't have the whole collection, but we have several pieces. Now here's one more little outfit still in the box, and it's worth about $12. And it was on clearance for 99 cents. Then we have another doll in the set with an original outfit, and she's worth about $35. And then we have the house. It's more like a boutique, and it's full of little accessories on the inside, worth at least $30. Now we'll move on to some of our Veggie Tales. We don't have a lot of this collection, but we have a few. Now this is a little Mary figure. She's actually not Veggie Tales, but she's worth about $8. And then from the Veggie Tales Nativity set, we have the little sheep. They're worth about $5. And then we have Mary and Joseph from the set, and they're worth about $12. And then we have a Veggie Tales Christmas ornament that's worth about $10. We have the small plush tomato, still has its original tag, worth about $15. Then we have a different style of tomato with a big plastic face, also worth about $15. Veggie Tale items are kind of valuable. Then we have a Petunia Rhubarb doll out of the box, worth about $20. And then we have the plush version of her, worth about $22. We have some of the little plastic figures. We have a petunia. She's worth about $6. And then the cucumber's worth about $6. And this is in VeggieTales. It's actually $19.85 from Avon Somersaults, worth $12. Then we have the little broccoli with a hat on. He's worth about $15. And then the plush cucumber with a tag's worth about $10. And then we have this large tomato plush. Now he's worth about $20. Sorry, I don't know their names. I should have looked those up. And then we have this petunia rhubarb doll in the box with 3 dresses. And I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked everywhere. So if the loose one's worth $20, this one has to be worth at least $50. But it could be worth a lot more than that since it's so rare. When you can't find something on eBay, it's usually rare. Then we've got this little VeggieTales wall art. That's worth about $12. And I paid $1 for it at a thrift store. And then we've got this cute little drinking cup that's worth $30. With our previous 415 videos of value in my toy collection, our toy collection was worth $1,027,930. Now when we add this video that had our Herself the Elf and the Lil Me, Liddle Kiddles, and the Brooke Shields dolls, I just called it 80s Dolls and Toys, we can add another $1,875 to our total. So that means our overall grand total for episode 416 of Value in My Toy Collection is now $1,029,805. I always wanted to say I have $1 million toy collection, and now I'm able to. But I'm not actually a millionaire. I'm more like a toyonaire. And I've been saving these toys all my life, going to garage sales, flea markets, thrift stores, toy stores, and looking online, and just accumulated to that big old total. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. I love seeing what all I have and what it's actually worth. And I'm also putting all the toys online on our Facebook page, which is called the Toy Vault of Mississippi. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do, because it helps us out tremendously. So until our next video, guys, we will see you then.